these are forms that hold the concrete in place underneath the beams. So in buildings, it's on a smaller scale. In buildings, when they're building a multi-level building, and it's an industrial building, there's a steel frame that goes up, and there's steel beams that go through them. And these same type of deck pans are placed inside the building as a flooring system. And then on top of that, there's rebar and there's concrete. There's concrete poured on top of about 9 inches thick. What, the metal? The corrugated metal? Oh, it's like 18 gauge. It's like, wish I had a piece. There's a little piece of metal over on the other side, but it's like, you can bend it with your hands. It flops around. When you hold one side of it, it flops. But it's engineered in such a way, and it's built in such a way, it's got enough pressure to hold it because the corrugations in it give you the strength with the little L's on the side. The big steel beams, the flanges are probably a little bit more than 1 inch thick. And these look like about 24 to 30 inch beams that go across, and they have a thicker spot in the middle where that gives it the strength on it. On the outside here, these are just temporary overhang brackets that you can build a parapet, because the wall actually sits on the outside of the beam. It doesn't sit on top of the beam. And we'll see that on the other side. So all under here, before the bridge was built, all the gravel, like this here, this fabric was all filled in, was all brought up. Then there was a base level of concrete poured. Then the beams were set on, and then the final level. So in between here, you can see this particular bay does not have the form on it, because this one had to be built with wood. This was in stage construction. So part of the bridge was built first, the inside part, and then traffic was put over to the inside part of the bridge. Then the other part of the bridge was demolished, and then this was built. And then finally at the end, what was left in between these two pieces was poured together with a closure pour. And that's why you have a little gap right here. Over here, the tube substructure of the bridge, there's a little piece of cork in between there. That's the only thing that separates the two substructures of the bridge. And up top, there's just, like a foot gap between the walls. This used to be a 30 or 40 foot gap in between the highways, but they added lane and they reconfigured, so now it's just a small little gap in between.
What's the purpose of the gap?
Well, there's no purpose other than that they needed two separate bridges because of the elevation difference. So you see the beams here? These are higher than these beams here. It's so that the cars coming this way are coming around a curve, and they want to super elevate like they do a racetrack. And over here, they're coming straight, so it's flatter. And it actually looks like it's coming down a little bit because it's starting to curve back out to that way for a little bit of super elevation. So that's why there has to be a gap in between them, the way they were designed. And originally, there was, like I said, there was a big gap in between them, but they just got as close as they could on this one. Okay. Yep. In reality, it probably could have been designed. Yeah, we might have could have designed them where it was all one bridge, but it doesn't make sense. So these beams are encapsulated back here with concrete. Usually they're not. This is the new style where when they pour the deck, where they pour the concrete level to about 2 or 3 inches below the beam, set the beam on it, and they pour the concrete that goes all the way over, and it falls down and encapsulates, it holds the whole system together, so you don't need bearings. On the other bridges, you need bearings because the entire, because the bridge will shrink and grow. Here, because the GRS system, it all holds everything together as it expands and contracts. Yeah, it's almost done now. So here, they're doing some final grading with this machine. When you're looking at machines, the ID of the machine is the name and the model number. So almost any machine you'll find a name and a model number, and then each company will make its own special number, like its own truck number or model number, you know, or not model, but the unit number.
Are you using this for the caps at all or no?
No, this is not for the caps. This is just O&G has this here. It's a rented machine from HO Pen. It's rented, but so you know, when you look at a machine, you can figure out, you know, where it came from and who owns it. And back here, this is really a dumb place to put a unit number. Do you know why? Yeah, because the operators sometimes don't pay attention and they hit stuff. So they got cameras now, supposed to be better, but they're not always better.
So we don't need to write this one down?
No, you don't need to write this one down. This is just to show you, if you're in the field, what it is. Like we showed you last time, the silt fence as an environmental item, and the silt fence, the stakes go on the back side of what you're trying to protect. So we're trying to keep the dirt this way. The silt fence goes in front, the stakes go here, and then it goes down to protect the to keep the dirt from going into the water. What's that? Yeah, it does a pretty good job. This has been compromised before and they had to put new in because it got pushed down. They just put a new set in. But and then this gravel out, this stone out here helps keep the tires clean. It's supposed to be bigger than this, but it helps keep the tires clean when the vehicles come off and get back onto the truck, back onto the road. It looks like this trench here with electric, probably they had electric going across on the old bridge. So they had to bring it, put it underground and bring it over to the pole to get it across. We'll go over to the other side and then we can get equipment numbers on this. These two cars go. So these are being used for the cap. So this would be the type. It's a man lift. The ID, you could use this, so you could put a man lift 460 SJ. Probably more apt to put the 460 SJ. Anybody have any idea what the 460 might refer to? What's that? No.
What it can lift.
What's that?
What it can lift.
46 feet. This is designed to go 46 feet. And the J means a jib, which means that little piece at the end will lift it up and lift it down. So you can get underneath there, then you can lift the jib separately from the basket, from the arm. So it gives you more control up top. What's that? Well, a carpenter, a mason, a laborer, a foreman, anybody can be in these. They don't make them just for equipment operators. They let anybody run these as long as you have a training. Yeah, they have a license as a training. They make you have. Huh?
I don't have any training. They didn't care when I drove skid steer.
Yeah. What kind of company you work for? Yeah. So they usually don't care because you don't have a union contract.
Yeah. There was also like nothing to break.
Right. But there's like a company from Middlesex or Chimbro or Mohawk you see around with their trucks. They're non-union, so laborers, they can drive that. Yeah. What's that? I know the laborers used to want years ago. The laborers, I mean, they would be. Some of them, they look like they lived underneath a bridge, and then so there's like a $500,000 loader, and somebody go tell the laborer go move that. I said, would you let this guy in your house? I said, no. I said, how much your house cost? Like 200,000. Well, this is a $500,000 machine, and you're gonna put this guy in the house, you know, or in the machine to drive it around, you know. So it's like you forget what really these things cost. Like that machine over there is probably $350,000, $400,000 for that excavator. Big bucks on these machines. So
You had the keys to them?
for what, these?